Greetings, family. How y'all doing? Looking for something. Hope everybody's doing well. Is this it? I don't think so. Greetings, save our trees. Yeah, I'm slow moving. I didn't expect anybody was gonna be up, but I'm gonna do a little reading today. I'm gonna do a little reading today, and maybe a little talking. I don't know. I haven't really been in the mood to talk lately. Yeah, I'll be honest. I ain't been in the mood. I'm gonna start with the reading of the glorious conspiracy of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. I, Cassandra Faye Floyd, as a peculiar expression of the almighty divine She, the great cosmic mother, now join in breath with my global family to conspire on behalf of the whole made well. We are breathing these words together to ensure that our home, her body, is restored to her original perfect glory. Her glory is perfect in peace, love, bliss, happiness, and ecstasy. This world exists because we collectively will it so. We, as the representatives of the Mother's reign on earth, speak this beautiful conspiracy as a single cosmic earthly orchestra to guarantee heaven on earth in joyful compliance with our Mother's divine will. Possessing the power of our mothers, we speak this glorious future now. It is certainly as we say, forever and ever, Mommy and I are one. Mommy and I are one. Mommy and I are one. And I'm also going to read I'm also going to read the global conspiracy to right all wrongs. And we spent several months reciting this conspiracy together. And the focus of our collective ritual was the Council of Nicaea, the 1700th anniversary of the First Council of Nicaea, 325 AD, as facilitated by Emperor Constantine to create the world's first global religion, currently known as the Roman Catholic Church. And until I say otherwise, We're going to continue reading the global conspiracy to right all wrongs. And the focus from now until I say otherwise is going to be the state of Israel. It is going to be the state of Israel, and particularly the impact that institution is currently having on the people of Palestine, as well as the people of Africa, as well as the people of the United States of America, as well as the people of Central and South America, as well as the people of Europe, as well as the people of India, as well as the people of Asia, China, Japan, the list goes on and on. And so this is just something that has been on me, today in particular, but I may need to do, I don't feel like it though. I'll be honest, I don't feel like it. I was going to say I may need to do as thorough a deep dive as I did when preparing the conspiracy, and that month or two that I spent doing the deep dives on the Council of Nicaea and sending out all the information and hosting those Zoom conferences and all of that stuff. I don't feel like I'm not. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to. But we are going to do the global conspiracy to right all wrongs. And that's going to be the focus. It's going to be all the seen hands of power and all the unseen hands of malignant power. Everybody's guilty as far as I'm concerned. The Roman Catholic Church was a good place to start, but the Roman Catholic Church, Judaism, as a matter of fact, let's just call it the global conspiracy to right all wrongs. And the focus from here on out is going to be the dismantling of the unholy Trinity. Judaism, Catholicism, Christianity, and Islam. Yeah, I told y'all, I'm like, they can all get it. And all other male-led, male-centered, Father God-centered institutions of treachery known as religions. All of them can get it. The United States of America, as a religion, can get it. I'll be honest, man. Anyway, whatever. So, I will say that even in my frustration and my disgust and my desperation and my annoyance and all the things, I've still been somewhat progressive. I still have an event coming up on the 25th of this month. It's going to be my first sound journey. Sound healing is really big out here. Everybody, wants to lead a sound bath or sound therapy. And so it's real, real big out here. And it's cute. But y'all know me. I'm a Virgo. I'm like, it's not judgmental. I'm not judgmental. I don't think I'm judgmental. I think that I'm hard to impress. There's a difference. I'm hard to impress. And then I have that Gemini rising on top of it. I bore easily. I'm not judgmental, do what you do, but I bore easily, and I am hard to impress. And so everybody want to be a sound bath healer. Everybody want to do sound bath. So anyway, I'm doing my first sound. I'm not calling it sound bath. I'm not calling it sound therapy. I'm calling it what I always call what we do. I'm casting a conspiracy on October 25th, and I eventually want to get. I found this kit, this set of like the sound bowls. You feel me, right? The crystal sound bowls, but they're matte, like opaque black, just black. No writing on them, no calligraphy on them, nothing. Just so it's a set of 7, and they're like black. I was like, that's what I want. I do want to show y'all my new shirt before I get off. You can see Lilith at the top, right? Hold on. Yeah, that bitch is fire. Ooh, that bitch is fire. Yeah, that's hard. But anyway, so I'm doing this thing, and so I told you that until I can get up the grip to get my little black, opaque black what you call it, my little black sound bowls. I was like, fuck it, I got all this stuff in this apartment. I'm about to do a sacred sound conspiracy session of all homemade, handmade instruments. And I showed y'all the first one that I made that I'm still so utterly hype about. I still have to either gotta buy like a clothes stand. I would like to make something myself, because I have to make something for them to be set up on. You know what I'm saying? So I can get to them easily. But this is the first one. And so I'm not making a lot of noise. I don't know what the hype button is. I'm streaming from a different browser, because Google was freezing. Every time I got on Google, everything was freezing. Then I was trying to use Firefox. It was freezing. I had somebody come over here, check my internet. They say your internet is fine. Something wrong with your computer. I tried everything, so I'm gonna have to go and take it somewhere to get fixed. So I don't know what's going on. But anyway, so I'm not gonna make a lot of noise because it's late and I don't want to wake up my neighbors. But this is the first one. I don't know if you can hear it. I'll make a little sound. The second one I made, I did a video of it. Mess it up. I showed that to you. I did though. Yeah. That's the second one. I'm trying not to make a lot of noise. Now, I'm sure that in the future they can be a lot more like cutesy and shit, but I didn't do any measurement. I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it, doing it off road. So, you could see like they were a little bit asymmetrical, and I didn't do, but they serve the purpose. They clink, clink, they make noise. But this last one I did, I had these necklaces that I've had these necklaces for so long. How long have I had these necklaces? I was still in St. Petersburg. Y'all, when I tell you I don't get rid of shit, I have had these necklaces intending to, quote, do something with them since 2008. I had 3, 4. Is it 4? I think it's 4 necklaces. Yeah, 4 necklaces. I had 5. One of them I tore apart. And so I kept the other 4 because I was like, eventually I'm going to use them for something. I don't know what, because I wasn't going to wear them. I'm going to use them for something. And today, well, not today, it was a couple of days ago, I was like, ooh, I know what I'm going to use them for. I'm going to use them for another noise maker for my little sound session on the 25th. Dishes turned out so much cuter. And then the same day that I decided, I still got to do a little tweaking of it, but the same day that I decided that I was going to make a noisemaker out of these necklaces, I went for a walk down the street. And you know those racquetball rackets? They look almost like tennis balls, but they're smoother and firmer. I found one on the road. and I was like, oh shit, that is going to fit perfectly inside my little necklace noisemaker. Child, I came home, took that little racquetball ball that I found on the road, came home, spray painted it gold. I'll show you the inside first. See, that's the racquetball ball. Spray painted it gold and hot glued it inside of the 4 necklaces that I bound together with gold wire. So that's the necklace part of the gold necklaces, and I just connected them all with gold wire to make myself a handle. And there you go. That's my 3rd noisemaker. That's my 3rd noisemaker for my sound session. So the goal was to have 7 different noisemakers for the thing on the 25th. So this is the 3rd one. Technically, I got 5. I'll go get the other 2, but because I made them earlier, but I'm still gonna use them. But anyway, there, which is super cute. Mm-hmm. So technically, I could be done. Because, oh, did y'all see my cute ass pants too? I don't know if y'all saw my cute ass pants. It's like all kinds of big old stop sign. It's all kinds of street signs on my pants. They just stretch pants, but they're like all street signs. Anyway, technically, I could be done at 2 more. I already have the thing laid out for I already have the thing laid out for the next noisemaker. That one's going to be a little bit more complicated to pull off, but anyway, so this one, I was out hiking and there was this particular tree that I really liked, and I love the way it sounds. So I highlighted it with some little spritz of gold paint. And then I think I've been showed y'all this one because I was saying like, bump it, this might be a necklace. You feel me? Yeah, it still might be a necklace. But anyway, it's these pods that I found from this tree down the street. And the pods are huge and flat when you first pick them, but when they dry, they twist and coil. So, but I also like the sound, and a friend of mine is going to let me borrow his sound equipment, microphone, and all of that stuff. So those are my noise makers. And Ooh, I've been working on the script for the event, and but anyway, the reason I got on the sound makers is because I'm gonna use one of them to do the global conspiracy to right our wrong. So for those of you just entering into the room, we're going to continue to do the global conspiracy to right all wrongs, and the focus is going to be the dismantling of the unholy trinity that has a stranglehold on the world and all of its offshoots, all of its offshoots, all of its offspring, all of its contributors, all of its contributors, every aspect of it, all of its tentacles. Yep. So we are the breakers of curses. We are the casters of glorious conspiracies and the creators of the new world. I, Cassandra Faye Floyd, am a divine instrument of my mother's divine will. As such, I am protected and guided by the sacred blood and water of my mother, Jacqueline Jeanette Cook's body that anointed my entry into this life. I am divine because she is divine. Mommy and I are one. I call all of our mothers to this moment. I call on they who govern everything, all time and every space in between. She with 10,000 names. Today it is Oya, Yamaya, Oshun, Yami Ajay, the divine architects of existence, assuresses of the new age. Mommy and I are one. I call upon all the divine ancestors and the Ashe of every mother on earth to break every curse ever cast upon the mother and her children in all timelines and in every dimension. Mommy and I are one. We, the mother's divine children, conspire together today to forever bind those who have or would harm you, great mother. Mommy and I are one. We conspire together today to destroy everything and everyone in every timeline and dimension that has caused suffering and despair. Mommy and I are one. Today, we embody the sacred and divine power of our mothers. Today, we, the tree, we, the weavers, rewrite all time. Today, we, the tree, we, the weavers, rewrite the book of life. Today, we, our mother's children, call the winds of change. We conjure the primordial dark. We summon the sacred serpent deep from within the earth. We subdue the rogue sun. We control the light. We heal the harmed. We embolden the fearful. We instill courageous action. Today, we are staging a global evolution as is our mother's divine will. Mommy and I are one. We, the architects of the new age, now create the new institutions, the new traditions, the new culture, the new ways of being. We ecstatically welcome the radical destruction of all institutions of hate and harm erected by the godheads of war. Mommy and I are one. We have the power. We have the voice. We are the portals of change. Now we employ our sacred breath, and we give life and sacred blood to this conspiracy. Mommy and I are one. We command, come the wind, come the storm, come the lightning, capture and judge all godheads of war and all betrayers of the mother's divine will. Bring their confusion and war to an immediate end. Scatter them to oblivion, never to be resurrected. We the fates, we the furies, we the Iami Ajay, we are the disseminators of divine time, divine retribution, divine rectification, and evolutionary justice. Mommy and I are one. We are the restorers of heaven on earth under the mother's divine reign. We wake the sacred serpent deep from her sleep to assist us in this sacred assignment. Mommy and I are one. Love unlimited is our birthright. Harmony is our birthright. Ecstasy is our birthright. Pleasure is our birthright. Freedom is our birthright. This is her divine will, and we are the divine executors of her will. We speak her will, now. We speak her will into the now to reverberate throughout all time, all space, and all dimensions. It is certainly as we say, forever and ever. Mommy and I are one. Mommy and I are one. Mommy and I are one. I missed that actually. So anyway, as we all know, there is a lot going on in the world today. And there's a lot going on in the world today. I am not going to reiterate because we all know the a lot that's going on in the world today. But I just want to say, first of all, I want to say it's 12:47, 48 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I wanted to, but I'll be honest, I've been a little bit subdued. And I really wanted to take the time yesterday to acknowledge a very important day. October 3rd was a very big and important day. And even though it's no longer the 3rd, I still want to take the opportunity. Oh, Save Our Trees. Save Our Trees has been a member for 4 months. I love that. Thank you so much, sister friend. I just want to take the time to acknowledge someone who probably wasn't acknowledged at all yesterday. And it's my bad because I really did want to take the time at some point yesterday to acknowledge Sinead O'Connor. Sinead O'Connor passed away, I think in 2022 or 2023. Sinead O'Connor passed away. And I was thinking about her about a month ago while I was at a club one night. They didn't play Sinead O'Connor, but I was thinking about revolutionary musicians of my past, people who I really respected as trendsetters and as people who were serious about their role as artists and serious enough to take risks, take risks with their careers and take risks with their lives to stand on principle. And on October 3rd of 1992, Sinead O'Connor, who was very young and, still relatively new musician who had, had a breakthrough covering a Prince song, Nothing Compares to You, and was invited on Saturday Night Live to perform live. This is in 1992, so there wasn't no internet, you know what I'm saying? There was no internet fame or virality. But on the night that she performed on Saturday Night Live on October 3rd of 1992, there was an estimated 27 million people worldwide watching her perform live. And the song that she chose to perform that night was by Bob Marley, entitled War. And I love that song. And she sang the song War. And after she finished, when she was wrapping up the end, kind of like, the band's playing in the background, she doing a little sing-songy talk, thing. And while she was doing her little sing-songy talk thing, she pulled out a picture of Pope John Paul II and ripped it live while 27 million people watched this protest against this tyrant who had essentially absolved all these men who had been traumatizing children. They, as the figureheads and representatives of the Roman Catholic Church, priests and the like, priests and bishops and all the like, and under Pope John Paul II was the greatest exposure of these crimes of a sexual nature against children in the history of the Roman Catholic Church. And he essentially absolved all of these men. And she was one of the millions, if not scores of millions, of victims of these pariah in positions of power. And that day, October 3rd, 1992, a young Irish Sinead O'Connor singing the song War by Bob Marley, ripping up a picture of Pope John Paul II, was essentially a shot heard round the world. She paid with her career. She paid with the life of her child. She paid with her own life because everyone came out in opposition to her. She was scorned, ridiculed, laughed at, made fun of, threatened. And Sinead O'Connor was pretty young when she transitioned, and it was 2023 when she transitioned in 2023. And I just feel like it's very important. It's very important to hold up women in our past who are or who have been or are the example through which we all should live. She was a giant among men. She was a lion. She was a woman of courage and a woman whose principle lined up with her actions. Her actions lined up with what she said, she believed. And so I wanted to take a minute before I start to read to you guys. I did want to acknowledge that before it got too late in the day. Rest in power, Sinead O'Connor. Rest in power, Sinead O'Connor. So anyway, I'm gonna read. I debated for many days now. I've gotten several emails from y'all. Is you alive, bitch? Do we need to send out a search and rescue for your ass? And I've just been debating. It doesn't mean like there's just a lot happening, and sometimes it's overwhelming. And so every day I kept saying, okay, today's the day I'm gonna do a live, and I'd be really hype about some topic that I felt passionate about discussing, and then as soon as I felt passionate about it, that shit subsided, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. There are a couple of things that I do want to say before. I'm not going deep into anything, but there are a couple of things I do want to acknowledge that happened over the last 9-10 days since the last time y'all saw me, and at least just, even if it's just kind of like bullet point the shit, just so I can say that I addressed it. The most recent thing was yesterday. I across my For You, this cute little video came up. I re-shared it as a post on my my YouTube community post page. It was very cute. I chuckled. You understand what I'm saying? I forget the dude's name, but it's like his channel is like Afro. I don't remember. Whatever. Anyway, it was funny. I'll be honest. I sat up in here and I chuckled a real good hearty laugh because he was like, I guess there's this thing happening now called the alt left, some bullshit. The alt left something the fuck whatever, right? That was my first time hearing about it, but apparently it's a whole movement. It's a whole thing. You feel me? And so I'm watching this shit, and it starts off with this brother talking about white people. That shit tickled me so bad. He said, "White people, y'all out here, y'all keep doing that. Y'all out here making the nigga proud." He was hilarious. He was so fucking funny, right? So he was talking about this whole alt left movement for men thing. I don't know, some bullshit, ass bullshit. But anyway, It was cute, and he was talking about y'all still ain't invited to the cookout, but we might have to have like a special cookout just for y'all. Y'all can't come to our shit. Y'all might be able to come up to the fence and we hand y'all a plate over the fence. Oh my god, that shit took me. He was like, we'll get the aunties and the grandmas, to cook up something real good for you, cause y'all making me proud out here. I see y'all. Y'all keep this up. Y'all might one of these days actually get invited to the cookout. He said, but we got to be real selective. We got to be real selective right now. Can't nobody come. Can't none of y'all come right now. Right now, we'll have a cookout. You feel me? We'll let y'all come up to the fence. We hand y'all a plate. But y'all keep up this good work. We might have to have a special cookout that's just for y'all. And so he starts playing these video clips from TikTok of all of these men who are saying some shit like, to the alt left, this is me submitting my application to the alt left, something, whatever, right? And so each one of the men is staking their claim, like, because apparently the thing is how the alt-right have convinced the general population that to be liberal or to be, quote, leftist, right, is to be a pansy, is to be a softy, is to be a wimp, and is to be, quote, not manly, right? And so the whole alt-left thing is to prove that you can have principle and you can experience empathy and all of these things. You can be progressive. You can stand. Thank you, Java Watson, for the donation. You can stand in solidarity with women and still, quote, be a man's man. So apparently it started with a bunch of like what you would call rugged, hardcore American blue collar workers. It was like men who were welders, or men who were like truck drivers, or men who were like, coal miners or some shit, like real rugged men, right? Who were still left leaning, quote, liberals, right? And the first man, I guess, that he put forward on the TikTok was this dude from West Virginia. He had like a big ass white beard, like down to his belly button, and he was bald headed, and he was real muscular. He was like a pipe fitting worker or some shit like that. Whatever. Like West Virginia, whatever. You feel me? The reason I'm mentioning it is a couple of reasons that stood out to me. In watching man after man after man after man. Some of them felt like grifters, but man after man after man say, leftist liberal over here. You feel me? Whatever. I'm gonna tell you something about that video that I saw. It was because I could have gotten into a wormhole about it. It's been a soapbox of mine, as y'all know. Not specifically this thing, but like in the same universe, in the same solar system. I don't know if you guys remember, but I did this live maybe 2 years ago called I entitled it like The South Will Rise Again or something like that. And it was just talking about about Southern people and how Southern people are motherfucking awesome human beings. Fuck what you heard. Southern people are awesome human beings in general. And black-skinned Southern people is what made America. Anything that can be identified as American, everything that is identified as, quote, American culture is black as fuck. Not just black as fuck, black and Southern as fuck, right? And so watching this dude's video yesterday just reminded me of that live that I did entitled The South Will Rise Again. And the reason why was because in all of this MAGA monstrosity that has been force-fed down our gullet, it made me remember why I love the South so much. It did. I was like, y'all white boys better come up on in the room. Y'all white boys better come up on in the motherfucking room on this here day, child. Cause every single TikTok that brother showed, every single TikTok that brother did, I was like, yes, god damn it, I remember. I remember. Baby, one white girl got up on there and she was like, look, she said, today was a good day. This was a white woman. She said, today was a good day. She said, because I'll be honest, I ain't dated nobody in 6 years. I ain't let nobody see me naked in 6 years. Because she said, I just written you motherfuckers off. She said, you white men, I just wrote y'all off. She said, men in general, white men in particular, I wrote y'all off. I was like, I guess this gonna be the rest of my life. Just no dating, no boo thing, just doing other stuff. She said, but this little alt left thing y'all got working out over here, this shit, she said, as soon as somebody come up with an alt left dating app, I might be tempted to get back the fuck up out in the out in the dating world. She said, I go ahead and create that app. I might be out here. I might be back in the game. She said, because I was convinced with this MAGA shit that MAGA dudes was weirdos, that leftists were pansies, and half of them was grifters on some bullshit. She was like, but y'all, man, y'all good looking. You know what I'm saying? Y'all out here doing y'all thing and taking right positions on top of it. She said, I might be dating again. She said, I might be dating again. Now, I wouldn't go that motherfucking far. However, I understood the sentiment. Because that video yesterday, I was like, now I'm going to need y'all white boys to be just as loud in your conviction, just as out front in your conviction, just as audacious in your conviction as these weirdo white boys who are the face of MAGA. These weirdo, malignant, wannabe nerd weirdos. I don't even know what to call them. They ain't nerds. So what do you even call them? Because they is just cretins, man. Just cretins. Anyway, these dudes, these white boys, child. Now, if they could just submit to the goddamn will of the mother, we might be having a different conversation. We might be having a different conversation out this bitch. Now, I'll be honest, they be trying to snuff the news, but there've been some white boys out here since January. They ain't been looking to actually since longer than that, since about October, September last year. There've been some white boys out here like trying to stake their claim, baby, trying to say, look, we ain't all with them. And I see you, white boys. I see you. You understand? You're making your mother proud out here. Listen, spread the word. You understand? Spread the mission. Do y'all thing. You feel me? Keep it decentralized. You feel me? Do your thing. Because your mother see you, baby. Your mama see you. And you might just redeem your crew. You might just redeem your clique. You might just redeem your clique. You might just redeem your clique. Now I'll say, it was about maybe May. I'd reached out to several sisters that I know back home. Several sisters that I who are priests in the Ifa tradition that I know back home. Because I don't remember why, but I'd been reminded of this presentation that I heard the elder Yeye Oshun priest, tell us in a in a temple service years ago, 2009, 2010, 2011, something like that, where she was telling us that Oyimbo, I don't know if y'all remember, but I said Oyimbo. But Oyimbo is the word that the Yoruba use when talking about white people. They call white people Oyimbo. And she was saying how Oyimbo, at least in the tradition, at least her interpretation, was that Oyimbo was like controlled by the Iami, or like, I guess like controlled by the Iami, and I couldn't reconcile it. I couldn't reconcile it. Like, there wasn't enough context then, and I was very, very young in the tradition, and so it didn't check for me. Like, how white people like, or like Iami, the IJ in particular, how do they? Thank you, Zahara, for the donation, darling. I still tussle with this idea. It came back to me when I talked to y'all about it, but then when I was very young in the tradition, it didn't even compute, and it was too complicated for me to even make it compute. But then I talked to several sisters who are priests in the tradition, and I was like, yo, you ever heard of this whole concept about how Oyimbo is controlled by the Iami? And if that's the case, how did it work? Like, how that work? If Oyimbo is controlled by the Iami, then why would the Iami have Oyimbo out here wreaking havoc on human beings, wreaking havoc on the life of the planet, wreaking havoc on human beings, on animals, on everything living? Like, I don't get it. Like, what's the point? What's the purpose? Like, what's the long view? Like, what is it, right? But then I started, maybe about May or so, I started really trying to like reconcile this old idea that I never heard again, never heard before in the tradition, never heard again in the tradition, but remembering what Shango Boom, it wasn't Shango, it wasn't Shango Boomy. Remember what she said, that this thing about the relationship between the Iami IJ and Oyimbo. And I specifically remember why I brought it up back then in May. It was about this fucking weirdo that is the face of, quote, global power as the president of the current president of the United States. And how I was like, all right, this thing that she said back in the day, if this is the case, then is this dude in this position for the sole purpose of facilitating facilitating the thing that we've been praying for? Now, I tell you, I know that's a hard stretch, but walk with me. If that don't mean that's what his objective is, it don't mean that's what his aim is, what he consciously thinking about. I'm saying, okay, this idea as the Iami Aj, which is the equivalent of this, right? We talk about the fates, right? And how the fates are the loving mothers, the triple goddess, right? The weavers of human destiny, right? And that when they make a judgment, then the furies, right? The furies come on deck. And without taking sides or taking a position, we just here to execute the judgment. Whatever the mothers say, the furies come on deck to say, okay, what you made the judgment, now what's the punishment? And we go and do that shit. That's what we do. No judgment, no side taking. Whatever the mothers say is the punishment that fits the crime. That's what we gonna do, right? This is the relationship between the Iami and the Iami Aj. Okay, you get me? The Iami is the fates. The Iami Aj, that we call in Yoruba culture the witches, the Iami Aj are the furies. They are the punishers. They are the ones, the divine executioners of the judgment made by the EME. Okay, and if the EMEIJ, according to what this elder said, control Oyimbo, right? And me trying to reason for a change, this thing that I heard, I was like, okay, so we think, or at least I teach, that, Trump is in a position of power as a particular plan that has been that's been scripted and has been playing out exactly how it's supposed to, right? I see you, Java Watson. Um, and so they think they control the board because this is what we've been planning for a long time. We've been planning for this nigga to be up in this position so that we can go ahead and make these billions for the rest of us, squeeze the citizenry to the point of no return, you feel me? And then restructure and reshape what is known as the United States of America, blah, 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 right? They think they running the thing. And so in May, I was like, but what if, even though they think they running the thing, you feel me, the EMEIJ are still putting all the pieces in place, and Trump, as well as his cabinet, as well as his lackeys and all of the things, are also being strategically placed to ensure the execution of the prayers that's been prayed by indigenous people, by black-skinned people, by brown-skinned people, by yellow-skinned people, by women, by babies. Maybe him and his lackeys are exactly what is needed to ensure the absolute unredeemable destruction of what is, to be able to ensure that there is no alternative but to erect something new. Like, maybe that's how deep it is. You feel me? Because you know me, I'm always like, can we simplify this shit? Like, I'm always in this damn song and dance with the mother. Like, look now, okay, now I'm up in here, but this shit getting a little complicated. And I don't like complicated. I'm the one always saying, simplify, simplify, simplify. You feel me? So a couple of things is, I'm gonna need, when we pray this prayer, when we recite this conspiracy, the first thing that we say. What's the first thing we say? What did I do in my book? Mm-hmm. Here it is. We are the breakers of curses, the casters of glorious conspiracies, and the creators of the new world. The first line says, I, Cassandra Faye Floyd, am a divine instrument of my mother's divine will. As such, I am protected and guided by the sacred blood and water of my mother's body. I am protected and I am guided. I'm cooked. What y'all be saying about Jesus all the time? Yeah, I be singing them damn songs about how you are a soldier in the army of the Lord or whatever bullshit y'all be talking about. I'm a soldier in what y'all be talking about? What? I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord or some shit, and how y'all covered in the blood of Jesus. Don't y'all be saying that? Y'all be covered in the blood of Jesus. That ain't offered your ass no protection. It ain't offered your ass no safety. It ain't offered your ass no protection. It ain't offered your ass no guidance. It ain't offered you shit. You feel me? And so we say that as a divine instrument of my mother's divine will, I am protected and guided by the blood and water of my mother's body. And so I'm like, mother, we need to be protected. We need to be covered. We need to be as safe as the day we were born. We need to be as safe in the mother's embrace and in the freshness of her blood and water as the day we were born. That our mother would kill a bitch over her baby that she just gave birth to. That's how covered we need to be. That's how protected we need to be. That's how guided we need to be. That's how certain we need to be. We need to be recovered in the blood and water of our own mama while we do this shit, while we do this work. You feel me? And I'm going to tell you, I feel like symbolism and metaphor is not enough. I will say that. I will say that. I will say that not this past spring equinox, but the equinox before in 2024, when me and 6 other women went out to the desert in Desert Hot Springs. And these women are not, quote, hardcore followers of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. They women who know me and they trust me, and we homies. You feel me? They don't watch my channel. I think 1 out of all 7 of them watch my channel regularly. 1 out of all 7 watch my channel regularly. One, I can tell you the other ones, I promise you, they can count on one hand how many times they watched, maybe 2. But the rest of them, I can guarantee you they can count on only one hand how many times they watch my channel. But they know me and they trust me. And so when I say, look, I know it's short notice, I know it's crazy, but I want to bury you bitches in the desert. I want to bury you bitches in the desert on the spring equinox as a, what did I call it? A death, inception, and rebirth ceremony. It's like sound pretty gangster. Let's go. And they came with me out to the desert for 3 days, while the homie that was managing the land helped me to dig 5 deep ass holes to bury these women in. And to me, the reason that it was necessary is because every metaphor that exists is a metaphor of how the sun has robbed the ceremonial symbols and imagery of the divineness of the mother to superimpose on himself. And that the physical action of christening your baby, the physical action of, quote, you accepting Jesus as a conscious thinking person at 10, 11, 12. So you got to say with your mouth and believe in your heart, and then some preacher gonna dunk you in the water and bring you up anew, wash you of your mama's filthy legacy, wash you of your mama's filthy imposed destiny, and make you new in the blood of Jesus and shit. You feel me? That these are very these are very physical, symbolic, physical. They don't do that shit metaphorically. They don't say that shit metaphorically. They say as soon as you say confess with your mouth that you is a sinner, and say with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus is this and this and this and this, the next thing you got to do is get your ass baptized. You got to have your mama filth washed up off you. These are not just things they say out their mouth. These are very real, physical, ceremonial practices to keep you invested in this new destiny that is the blood of Jesus, or whatever the fuck. Feel me? And I said, it's not going to be enough for us to cast conspiracies, that we're going to have to do very real, physical ceremonies that undo what has been done. That if we have to be, quote, we have to go into the water, you feel me, and hold our breath, and then be raised up out the water, then what can we do that counters? What is the idea in its doing? If we, quote, had to be reborn in Jesus, then for me, we had to die. We had to die. We had to die in that shit. And it doesn't matter who it is. If it's Jesus, if it's Yahweh, if it's Allah, if it's any of these Abrahamic religions in particular that have you do these damn ceremonies where your mother's your mother's ordained destiny is removed from you, and some male guy has to, quote, re-give birth to you, then that shit has to be undone. I'm saying Jesus because that's the focus, and it's the largest religion on earth right now. But I said we have to die to that shit. We have to have a symbolic death to what has been done to us and be reborn in our mother, in her actual body, in her actual belly. Therefore, we have to be buried back in the belly of the earth and raised up anew, and then bathed in the mother's water, right? And so that's what we did. We did the ceremonial death ceremony out there, and then we literally buried these women, because that's what happens when you die. You must be buried. But in the goddess worshiping tradition, you were buried in preparation for your rebirth. You were buried in the red ochre. You were buried in the fetal position. You were placed back into the belly of the mother to prepare yourself to reincarnate, to prepare yourself to be born again through another mama. You feel me? And so that's what we did out there in that desert on the spring equinox of 2024. And it was a couple of reasons I did that. One, that when the temple is functioning the way that it needs to be, that we would have a property where that would be a regular ceremony for people who were at a certain place in the temple, who were serious about being transformed, about purging this spell that's been cast on them under the auspice of giving themselves to some make-believe fictitious weirdo who is the face of a murder cult, of a martyr cult, and restaging their bits, reclaiming the destiny given to them by their mothers. You understand? And so that's why we did that. And I'm saying all that because we need to accept collectively, and not sometimes, symbolism, ceremony, ritual helps to embody an idea. It helps to concretize, materialize an idea. That's why symbol and symbolism, ceremony and ritual is so important in these murder cults, in these male-centered, male-led murder cults. Everything is symbolism for them. Everything is ceremony for them. Everything is ritualistic with them. Isn't it? Every single solitary thing that they do is methodical and ritualistic and symbolic. There's no stone they leave unturned, no grain of sand they leave unaddressed. And so symbolism, methodology, all of that shit we have to reclaim. Do you understand? And so that's why I buried them women out in that desert. That's why I created games for them to play like little children. We did jewelry making. I was very methodical about the 3 days that I had these women's attention and participation. We prepared meals together. We ate together. It was really extraordinary. And so when the temple is functioning the way that it will and needs to be, that will be something that everybody goes through, is to be wrapped again in the embrace of their mother's body and to re-seize possession of their true destiny that only your mother can give you. Isn't that what we've been reading in Symbols and Sacred Objects? Is that was the most coveted thing by males, was the mother's ability to literally impart a destiny on their children the first time they spoke their baby's name while their baby was attached to their nipple. Remember that? How that's the reason they didn't sever the cord, was because the cord had to be attached when the baby went to latch. And when the mother spoke the baby's name for the first time, and she's looking in her baby's eyes, this is the moment where she imparts the baby's destiny on them, and how the male hated her for, how the male coveted that ceremony, that ritual. You understand? And so we have to, symbol is everything, and we have to re-seize possession of the symbol. You have to re-seize possession. You have to re-seize ownership. That which is the domain of the mothers. We spent all that time, three videos, I think, talking about the quickening. Again, another symbol robbed from the mother, about the quickening, right? And how in the mother, the quickening is what? The evidence of life, the proof of life. The quickening in spiritual, in Christian tradition, and in mythology, and in all of this other shit, the quickening can only come through death. Isn't that something? The quickening can only come through death. I'm not gonna go off, but I've been just thinking about a lot this week, and symbolism has been a lot of it. I'm watching something right now that I think you all should watch. I might teach a workshop. Long. It's like I'm on episode 6 right now. The 30 minutes each, but it's called I'm watching it. If you have a Fire Stick or whatever, I don't know where you can watch. I think I'm watching it on Netflix because I don't subscribe to Gaia anymore. I think I'm watching it on Netflix. It's called The Secret Life of Symbols. I think that's what it's called. The Secret Life of Symbols. It's taught by, what's this guy's name? Man, what's this dude's name? I can't even think. And I should know his name, but it's called The Secret Life of Symbols. Just Google where you can watch it. I hate saying that. Just do a search of some type on where you can watch it. I think I'm watching it on Netflix, and I'm on episode 6 right now. But I'm gonna tell you something. I talked to y'all about this other white guy who did the thing on how he, quote, discovered the secret of Jordan Maxwell. God, thank you so much, child. That was really annoying. Thank you so much for that, Constance Woo Woo. And I was telling y'all about the other white guy who I really like his content. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but his page is like, I can't think. Something, I can't think, child. It's early for me and I can't think. But anyway, and he was talking about how he, quote, discovered, I know it's on Gaia, but you have to, I know it's on Gaia, but I know you have to pay for Gaia. You have to subscribe to Gaia. It's just like $11 a month. And that's not where I'm watching it. I know I'm not watching it on Gaia because I canceled my subscription. So, but what I was going to say is if you don't want to pay for Gaia, I would suggest, I think you can watch the whole thing on YouTube. It's called The Secret Life of Symbols. And like this other guy, and I've been going, I went there today too. I've been going to the Philosophical Research Center a lot lately, like a lot. Like it's my new home away from home. One, because it's quiet, but I'm surrounded by all of these, man. Manly P. Hall was afforded the opportunity to travel. He didn't pay for anything his whole life, man. His whole life, man. People just opened up their checkbooks. Just open. You need to go to Greece for a month to study. I got it. You need to go to Turkey for a year to study. I got you. People just this motherfucker didn't work a day in his life. Not like The rest of us got to work. Not once from 20 years old on, he did not work. All he did was study. All he did was teach. And you go into this library, the Manly P. Hall Library at the Philosophical Research Center. This library, y'all, this library is unfathomable. Manuscripts that are like this, damn near poster-sized manuscripts. They have stands all over the library where the big giant manuscripts like this can be laid out on these giant standing posts. Handwritten manuscripts from fucking India and goddamn China and yo. That library, and anything that's not out and open is behind. Every book in the library is 2 stories tall. Every book is behind they got just rows and rows and rows of glass cases under lock and key. They have the entire library available online so that you can check out the books that you want to read. So the library is only open 2 days a week, right? And if there are books that you would like to look through, read, or whatever, then you go to the website and you say, okay, this book, and this book, and I'm gonna come on 2 days that the library is open, which is Thursday and Friday, and they'll have the books pulled for you so it's not impeding upon your time because they only open for a few hours those 2 days a week. And you can't check out the books. But what you can do is come when the library is open, you feel me? And you can read to your heart's content the books that you pre-check out the day that you come. Like the bookstore, there's 2 bookstores on the property. One bookstore, all the books are new. And then the next part of the bookstore, all the books are used. There's more books than that, but 3 in particular, I got my sights set on. There's this book up in there about the history of Afrofuturism. That book's so gangster. Oh my God, that book's so gangster. Anyway, I'm in this philosophical research center looking at the compilation of what was this man's life. This library, 2 stories tall, every single solitary book under lock and key. Every single book. You have to check your bags at the door. You cannot bring markers. I'm not lying. You cannot bring markers into the library. Like, even if I got my own notebook and I'm just taking notes and highlight, you cannot bring markers up in our library. These books are sacred. This man went around the world collecting books from every square inch of the earth. And they right there in that library about 2 miles from my house. 2, maybe 3 miles from my house. And anyway, I watched this. I'm continuing to watch The Secret Life of Symbols. I'm studying at least 2-3 times a week now that I started going to the research center. I'm studying there at least 2 days a week, sometimes 3 days a week. And looking at all of this fucking magnificence that this man was able to be exposed to and collect and bring back to the States over his lifetime. And watching these other channels. And I'm going to tell y'all something, especially with The Secret Life of Symbols. Jordan Maxwell is probably considered in modern times like the expert on symbols, the expert on symbolism, the hidden symbols in everything, the origin of the symbols, blah, 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 right? And I'm watching this thing and it's good information. But every single episode, every single thing, I'm like, these men will never be able to make the leap. They can't. It's impossible. Every single solitary, quote, expert on things hidden, the occult, the unseen, they will, it blows my mind. It blows my mind how these men can be so brilliant, can know so much, can have had the entire world handed to them on a silver platter to make it easy for them to study and learn. And no matter how much is handed to them, they will never be able to make the leap. They will never be. These four thinkers, these four thinkers will never be able to make the leap. That shit with their penises is deep and profound, child. They will never be able to make the leap. I'm sitting here watching The Secret Life of Symbols. I was like, he right there. He right on the surface. He right on the edge. Boy, just make the leap. He cannot do it. He can't do it, baby. He cannot do it. I said, it's right there in front of your face, boy. Why can't you make the leap? He can't do it. He can't do it. When I tell you that the mother is so ever present, and they will never be able to make the leap, baby. They will never be able to make the leap. And I'll be honest, I don't know. Because every time I turn around and I think there's a glimmer of hope, some woman, I don't know. You understand? I might have to, I'm thinking maybe I should. It's already whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and read. Maybe another day I'll break it in half or something. But anyway, I just needed to get a couple things off my chest since I ain't been up on here in a while. So the book that I'm gonna read, I debated about what I was gonna read. Now I had suggestions this week because apparently y'all like to hear me read. I went to this book club at the Philosophical Research Center on Tuesday. I was there studying and didn't realize that they were having a book club. And so I went up on there into the book club. This is a story I'll tell for another day, but that book club, there must have been 20 people there at that book club. That was the most riveting conversation I've had in a long time. It was revealing, but it was riveting. Anyway, when I was trying to decide what book I was going to read to y'all, even as I'm sitting here looking at these 4 books that I pulled out, I was like, damn, did I choose the right book? Because I chose The Power. But this one I've been really wanting to read. I haven't read it yet. I just collected it. It's called New Age and Armageddon by Monica Jew. The subtitle is The Goddess or the Gurus Towards a Feminist Vision of the Future. This is the cover. Now, Monica Jew is cited as the co-author of The Great Cosmic Mother, but we know she was the illustrator, right? But the title of this book was written in 1992. I was like, ooh, I really want to get into this, but whatever. And then I had been promising y'all, and I don't know, considering the fact that these motherfuckers just rolled up on an apartment complex in Chicago day before yesterday, I was like, damn, maybe this is the book we need to be getting back into. Medical Revolutionaries and the Enslaved Healers of 18th Century Saint Domingue. Because this is a book for gorillas, bitch. Fuck what you heard. Damn the title. This book is a book for gorillas. Okay? Medical Revolutionaries, the Enslaved Healers of 18th Century Saint Domingue. And then this one too. Oh, this book is so good. I was real tempted. I had a request for a Parable of the Talents. And I thought about it, but I'm like, damn, man. I got so many other good books I want to read y'all. But this book, it might very well be the next one. It's so fantastic. So fantastic. It's called Brown Girl in the Ring by Nilo Hopkinson. This is a fiction. Brown Girl in the Ring by Nilo Hopkinson. This book is a book for gangsters too. This book is a book for gorillas too. Even though it's a fiction, it's got real life such and such and this and such. You feel me? So I don't know. But anyway, I decided on The Power. One, because they canceled the show. It's official. They did cancel the show. And I, like anybody else who watched the show, wanted to know what was gonna happen since they ain't gonna do a second season. So this is the book that we do. Okay. This book is by, what's her name? Naomi Alderman. Called The Power. I'm not going to read for very long since I spent an hour talking since I ain't talked to y'all in a week, but we're going to read this book. The people came to Samuel and said, "Place a king over us to guide us." And Samuel said to them, "This is what a king will do if he reigns over you. He will take your sons and make them run with his chariots and horses. He will dispose them however he wants. He'll make them commanders of thousands or captains of 50s. He'll send them..." Child, I knew I was missing something. Ah, yes, to be able to see. He'll send them to plow, to reap, to forge his weapons and his chariots. He'll take your daughters to make perfume for him, or cook his food, or do his baking. He'll take your fields and your vineyards and your olive groves. Oh, he'll take the very best of those and give them to his cronies. Sound familiar? He'll take much more, a tenth of your grain and your wine. Those will go to his favorite aristocrats and faithful servants, your manservants and your maidservants, your best men, your donkeys. Yes, he'll take those for his own use. He'll take 1/10 of your flocks, and you yourselves will become his slaves. And on that day, believe me, you will cry out for relief from this king, the king you asked for, but the Lord will not answer you on that day. But the people would not listen to Samuel. They said, "No, give us a king over us, so that give us a king over us, so that we can be like all other nations. Give us a king to guide us and to lead us into battle." And when Samuel heard what the people said, he told it to the Lord, and the Lord answered, "Give them a king." This is 1 Samuel chapter 8. The Men Writers Association, the New Men Writers Association, New Bavon Square, October 27th. Dear Naomi, I finished the bloody book. I'm sending it to you with all its fragments and drawings, in the hope that you'll give me some guidance, or at least that I'll finally hear the echo of it as I drop the pebble of this book down the well. You'll ask me first of all what it is. Quote, "Not another dry volume of history was what I promised. 4 books in, and I realized that no general reader can be bothered to wade through endless mounds of evidence. No one cares about the technicalities of dating finds and strata comparison. I've seen audiences' eyes go blank as I try to explain my research. So what I've done here is a sort of hybrid piece, something that I hope will appeal more to ordinary people. Not quite history, not quite a novel, a sort of novelization of what archaeologists agree is the most plausible narrative. I've included some illustrations of archaeological finds that I hope are suggestive, but readers can, and I am sure many will, skip over them. I have questions for you. Is it very shocking, too hard to accept that anything of this sort could ever have been the case, no matter how far back in our history? Is there anything I can do to make it all seem more plausible? You know what they say about truth and the appearance of truth being opposites. I put I put in some ter- I put in some terrifically troubling stuff about Mother Eve, but we all know how these things work. Surely no one will be too distressed. Everyone claims to be an atheist now anyway, and all the miracles really are explicable. Anyway, sorry, I'll shut up now. I don't want to influence you. Just read it and tell me what you think. I hope your own book's going well. I can't wait to read it. When it's ready, I can't wait to read it when it's ready to be seen. Thank you so much for this. I'm so grateful you could spare the time. Much love, Neil. Dearest Neil, wow, what a treat. I've been flicking through the pages and can't wait to dive in. I see you've included some scenes with male soldiers, male police officers, and boy crime gangs just as you said you would. You saucy boy. I don't have to tell you how much I enjoy that sort of thing. I'm sure you remember. I'm practically on the edge of my seat. Um, I'm very intrigued to see what you've done with the premise. It'll be a welcome relief from my own book, if I'm honest. Salim says if the new one's not a masterpiece, he's leaving me for some woman who can write. I don't think I don't think he has any idea how these offhand remarks make me feel. Anyway, looking forward to this. I think I'd rather enjoy this world run by men you've been talking about. Surely a kinder, more caring, and dare I say it, more sexy world than the one we live in. More soon, my dear Naomi. The Power, a historical novel. Neil Adam Armand. Interesting. The shape of power is always the same. It is the shape of a tree, root to tip, central trunk branching and rebranching, spreading wider and ever thinner searching fingers. The shape of power is always the shape of power is the outline of a living thing straining outward, sending its fine tendrils a little further and a little further yet. This is the shape of rivers leading to the ocean, the trickles to rivulets, the rivulets to streams, the streams to torrents, the great power gathering and gushing, becoming mightier to whirl itself into the great marine might. It is the shape that lightning forms when it strikes from heaven to earth. The forked tear in the sky becomes a pattern on flesh or on the earth. These same distinctive patterns bloom in a block of acrylic when struck with electricity. We send electric currents down orderly runs of circuits and switches, but the shape that electricity wants to take is of a living thing, a fern, a bare branch. The strike point is the center, the power seeking outward. The same shape grows within us, our inward trees of nerves and blood vessels, the central trunk, the pathways dividing and redividing, the signals carried from our fingers' ends to the spine, to the brain. We are electrical. The power travels within us as it does in nature. My children, nothing has happened here that has not been in accordance with the natural law. Power travels in the same manner power travels in the same manner between people. It must be so. People form villages, villages become towns, towns bow the knee to cities, and cities to states. Orders travel from the center to the tips. Results travel from the tips to the center. The communication is constant. Oceans cannot survive without tricklets, nor steadfast tree trunks without budlets, nor the enthroned brain without nerve endings. As above, so below. as on the outskirts, so at the very heart. It follows that there are two ways for nature and the nature and use of human power to change. One is that an order might issue from the palace and a command unto the people saying it is thus. But the other is more certain is the other is the more certain. Wait a minute. But the other, the more certain, the more inevitable is that thousands points of light, those thousand points of light should each send a message. When the people change, the palace cannot hold. When the people change, the palace cannot hold. As it is written, quote, she cuppeth the lightning in her hand, she commandeth it to strike. From the book of Eve, page 13 through 17. 10 years ago, 10 years to go. Roxy. The men lock Roxy in the cupboard when they do it. What they don't know is she's been locked in the cupboard before. When she's naughty, her mom puts her there. Just for a few minutes till she calms down. Slowly, over the hours in there, she's worked the lock loose with a fingernail or a paperclip and the screws. She could have taken that lock off at any time she had wanted, but she didn't, because then her mom would have put a bolt on the outside. It's enough for her to know, sitting in there in the dark, that if she really wanted to, she could get out. The knowledge is as good as freedom. So that's why they think they've locked her in, safe and sound. But she still gets out. That's how she sees it. The men come at 9:30 in the evening. Roxy was supposed to have gone over to her cousin's house that night. It had been arranged for weeks, but she had given her mom lip about not getting her the right tights from Primark. So her mom said, you're not going, you're staying in. Like Roxy cared about going to her poxy cousins anyway. When the blokes kick in the door and see her there sulking on the sofa next to her mom, one of them goes, fuck, the girl's here. There are two men, one taller with a face like a rat, the other shorter, square-jawed. She doesn't know them. The short one grabs her mom by the throat. The tall one chases Roxy through the kitchen. She's almost out the back door when he grabs her thigh. She falls forward, and he's got her by the waist. She's kicking and shouting, fuck off, let me go. And when he puts his hand over her mouth, she bites him so hard she tastes blood. He swears, but he doesn't drop her. He carries her through the living room. The short ones pushed her mom up against the fireplace. Roxy feels it start to build in her then, though she doesn't know what it is. Roxy feels it start to build in her then, though she doesn't know what it is. It's just a feeling at her fingers' ends, a prickle in her thumbs. She starts screaming. Her mom's going, Don't you hurt my Roxy. Don't you fucking hurt her. You don't know what you're into. This is going to come down on you like fire. You're going to wish you were never born. Her dad's burning monk, for Christ's sake. The short one laughs. We're here with a message for her dad as it goes. The tall one bundles Roxy into the cupboard under the stairs so fast that she doesn't know it's happening until the dark is all around her, and the dusty sweet smell of the Hoover. Her mom starts screaming. Roxy's breathing fast. She's frightened, but she's got to get to her mom. She turns one of the screws on the lock with her fingernail. There's 1, 2, 3 twists, and it's out. A spark jumps between the metal of the screw and her hand. Static electricity. She's feeling weird. Focused like she can see with her eyes closed. Bottom screw, 1, 2, 3 twists. Her mom saying, please, please, don't, please. What is this? She's just a kid. She's just a child, for God's sake. One of the men laughs low. Didn't look much like a kid. She didn't look much like a kid to me. Her mom shrieks then. It sounds like metal in a bad engine. Roxy tries to work out where the men are in the room. One's with her mom, the other, she hears a sound to her left. Her plan is she'll get out, she'll come out low, get the tall one in the back of the knees, stomp his head, then it's 2 against 1. If they've got guns, they haven't shown them. Roxy's been in fights before. People say things about her and her mom and her dad. 1, 2, 3. Her mom screams again, and Roxy pulls the lock off the door and bashes it open as hard as she can. She's lucky. She's caught the tall one from behind with the door. He stumbles. He topples. She grabs his right foot as it comes up, and he goes down hard on the carpet. There's a crack, and he's bleeding from the nose. The short one had a knife pressed against her mom's neck, and the blade winks at her, silver and smiling. Her mom's eyes go wide. "Run, Roxy," she says, not more than a whisper, but Roxy hears it like it was inside her head. "Run, run." Roxy doesn't run from fights at school. If you do that, they'll never stop saying, "Your mom's a slapper and your dad's a crook." Watch out, Roxy. Watch out. Roxy will nick your book. You've got to stomp them till they beg. You don't run. Ugh. Gross. Ugh. I think I got ink in my mouth. Anyway, something's happening. The blood is pounding in her ears. A prickling feeling is spreading along her neck, over her shoulders, along her collarbone. It's saying, "You can do it." It's saying, "You're strong." She jumps over the prone man, groaning and pawing at his face. She's going to grab her mom's hand and get out of there. They just need to be on the street. This can't happen out there in the middle of the day. They'll find her dad. He'll sort it out. It's only a few steps. They can do it. Short man kicks Roxy's mom hard in the stomach. She doubles over in pain, falls to her knees. He swishes the knife at Roxy. Tall man groans. "Tony, remember, not the girl." Short man kicks the other in the face. Once, twice, 3 times. "Don't say my fucking name." Tall man goes quiet. His face bubbles with blood. Roxy knows she's in trouble now. Her mom's shouting, "Run, run." Roxy feels the thing like pins and needles along her arms. The needles prick of light from her spine to her collarbone, from her throat to her elbows, wrists to the pads of her fingers. She's glittering inside. He reaches for her with one hand and the knife in the other. She gets ready to kick him or punch him, but some instinct tells her a new thing. She grabs his wrists. She twists something quite deep inside her chest as if she'd always known how to do it. He tries to wiggle out of her grip, but it's too late. She cuppeth the lightning in her hand. She commandeth it to strike. There's a crackling flash and a sound like a paper snapper. She can smell something like a rainstorm and a bit like burning hair. The taste welling under her tongue is of bitter oranges. The short man is on the floor now. He's making a crooning, wordless cry. His hand is clenching and unclenching. There's a long red scar running up his arm from his wrist. She can see it even under the blonde hairs. It's scarlet, patterned like a fern, leaves, tendrils, budlets, branches. Her mom's mouth is open. She's staring. Her tears are still falling. Roxy tugs at her mom's arm, but she's shocked and slow, and her mouth is still saying, "Run, run, Roxy." Roxy doesn't know what she's done, But Roxy doesn't know what she's done, but she knows when you're fighting someone stronger than you and they're down, you get out. But her mom doesn't move quickly enough before Roxy can get her up. Get her up. Let's see. But but her mom doesn't move quickly enough before Roxy can get her up. The short man is saying, "Oh no, you don't." His He's weary, pulling himself to his feet, limping between them in the door. His one hand hangs dead by his side, the other still holding that knife. Roxy remembers what it felt like to do the thing, whatever it was she did. She pulls her mom behind her. What you got there, girlie? Says the man. Tony, she'll remember his name to tell her dad. Got a battery? Get out of the way, says Roxy. You don't want another taste. Tony steps back a couple of paces, eyes her arms, looks to see if she's got anything behind her back. You dropped it, didn't you, little girl? She remembers the way it felt, the twist, the explosion outward. She takes a step toward Tony. He stands his ground. She takes another step. He looks at his dead hand. The fingers are still twitching. He shakes his head. You ain't got nothing. He motions toward he motions towards her with a knife. She reaches out, touches the back of his good hand, does the same twist. Nothing happens. He starts to laugh. He holds the knife in his teeth, grabs her two wrists in his one hand. Then she tries it again. Nothing. He forces her to her knees. Please, says her mom, softly. Please, please don't. And then something hits her in the back of the head, and she's gone. When she wakes, the world is sideways. There's the hearth, just like always, wooden trim around the fireplace. It's pushing into her eye, and her head hurts, and her mouth is mushed up into the carpet. There's the taste of blood on her teeth. Something is dripping. She closed her eyes, opens them again, and knows it's been longer than a few minutes. The street outside is quiet. The house is cold and lopsided. She feels out of her body. Her legs are up on a chair. Her face is hanging down, pressed into the carpet and the fireplace. She tries to level herself up, but it's too much effort. So she wriggles and lets her legs drop to the floor. It hurts when she falls, but at least she's all on one level. Memories come back to her in quick flashes. The pain, then the source of the pain, then the thing that she did, then her mom. She pushes herself up slowly, noticing as she does so that her hands are sticky and something is dripping. The carpet is sodden, thick with a red stain in a wide circle around the fireplace. There's her mom, her head lolling over the arm of the sofa. There's a paper resting on her chest with a felt tip drawing of a primrose. Roxy is 14. She's one of the youngest and one of the first. That's where I'm going to stop. So, yeah, that's where I'm going to stop for the night. It's 2:00, and I have a lot to do today, Saturday. A lot to do. So, I'm going to go ahead and go to sleep, and I will see you guys. I'm going to try to do a live today, Saturday. If not, it'll be Sunday because I have a lot to do. Let me tell y'all what happened last night, though. Let me just tell y'all. Squad the fuck up, y'all. Let me just tell y'all. The last 24 hours has been crazy. I forgot to tell y'all. I live in an apartment complex. It's very small. I think there's maybe 15 units in here. 15, maybe 20 units in my apartment complex. It's very small. And it's like a big square. So like when you drive into the gate, there's parking levels is what would be the first floor. Thank you so much, Spiritually Flexi, for the donation. I love the little dancing hippo, the little spinning hippo. That's cute. So anyway, when you drive into the gate of the apartment, the entire what you would call the first floor is the parking level. So everything that would be the first floor is all parking. But it's a gated apartment complex, okay? And So the inside of the quote square circle is parking levels, and then on the back side of this quote square circle is both sides are parking levels. My parking spot is directly under my apartment. Typically, I sleep very light. I hear everything. Like right now, it sounds like there are about 4 helicopters circling overhead, right? I hear everything. Every time the trash can goes down, I hear it. I sleep crazy light. Last night, I slept like the dead. Last night, I slept like the dead. And those like the back apartments, my apartment is a back apartment, back facing apartment. There's 2 sets of back facing apartments on 2 levels. And our parking spots are underneath our units, okay? How about last night? Somehow somebody got into the apartment complex. Didn't come upstairs though, which is easy, but somebody got into the apartment complex. The gate closes slow, so it's easy for somebody to just slip up in there. The gate closes crazy slow. We've actually talked to the apartment management about it. The gate takes too long to close after you pass through it. Anyway, somebody got into the gate last night and broke into 3 cars. Like crashed windows, psh, 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 crashed windows, took shit out of the cars. 3 cars got broken into this complex last night, and nobody heard a thing. I was like, how the fuck did they break into cars? How the fuck did they break into cars and ain't nobody heard shit? This is the quietest neighborhood I've ever lived in West Hollywood. I'm like, it's creepy quiet. I didn't hear a thing. Nobody heard a thing. We got up this morning. There was glass everywhere, sweeping glass. It was crazy. That happened last night. Then I was talking to one of the women who live here because she was parked out on the street, and she had this like a dent like this, like a circular dent this big right in the center of her windshield. And her windshield, huge like that. It looked like a spider web. It was big, right in the center of her windshield. I said, "Did you hear about the cars getting broken into last night?" She was like, "What?" Because she lives in the very front of the apartment complex. She was like, "No." I said, "Yeah, girl, 3 cars got broken into last night. Da, 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 da." She was like, "That's crazy. That happened last night." I said, "Yeah." She said, "Look at the front of my car." She said, "This happened yesterday afternoon at around 6 o'clock. That big old thing on her windshield. They were driving home, and a piece of metal flew out of a work truck that she was driving behind. Like, like how the Mexicans just be having a bunch of stuff. Like, how they be doing yard maintenance out here and shit like that. They'll have just random tools on the back of the truck. Something metal flew out of the goddamn work truck, bashed a freaking full-on opaque circle this big on the woman's windshield on her way home last night." I said, what the fuck is happening with our apartment complex? I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, my car didn't get broken into, but I'm gonna tell you the theory that I have, because I got a lot of stuff in my car, right? I'm gonna tell you the theory that I have. First of all, my cat Storm, for the last 3 days, I usually keep a crack about this big in my driver's side window because it's difficult to open my car door because my car door handle is broken and I haven't gotten it replaced yet. And so I leave it cracked so I can reach up in there, but I have an alarm on my car, so even if somebody was like, the alarm would go off loud, right? Well, Storm, punk ass, done figured out, I don't know how to get into my car if I leave the window cracked. So I had to stop leaving. So last night was the first time that I was like, I don't need you getting in my car. So For the first time, and I can't remember how long, I lifted the car window all the way up and found a way to pop the door open without putting my hand in there. So my punk ass cat couldn't post up. He don't want to come in the house at night, but he don't want to be out in the quote elements. So he done found a way to get into my car. And so I rolled my window up. That was the first time in months I've let my window all the way up. And so that was one thing. You can't just open the door and get into my car. Second thing was my car is dirty. My car is dirty. In California, especially in Los Angeles, you have to literally wash your car once a week. Like, if you don't wash your car once a week, it literally looks like somebody just dumped pollen all over your car. My car is filthy. My car looked like I've been mudding, and there ain't no mud. It's just covered in muck. And so it looked like a poor bitch. It looked like a poor bitch car. I said, that's the only reason they didn't rob my shit. They was like, damn, this car don't look like it's got no shit. Fortunately, I got tinted windows, so you couldn't just peek in and see I got a bunch of shit in my car, like shit that they could sell in my car, right? And so, but my car is dirty, child. When I tell you it look like a homeless person live up in that car, it's dirty. And I'm telling you, it's the only thing that saved. I'm certain of it. Is the fact that my punk ass cat had been sleeping in my car the last 3 days, and I was like, but he can't get out, so he can't come back up in here and eat. So I got to go downstairs and rescue his ass so he can eat, and I was pissed off. But little did I know, Storm punk ass saved me, because my car didn't get broken into. The car to my left and the car to my right both got broken into last night. And it was like, this bitch ain't got no shit. This dirty ass car, this bitch can't even afford to wash her car once a week. So the car to my left and the car to my right got broken into. Windows bashed the fuck out, the whole thing. My car did not get broken into. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, so I'm gonna go to sleep. But we're gonna start regularly reciting the global conspiracy again to right all wrongs. And I'll see y'all. It's probably gonna be Sunday, truth be told, because the day is already done. It's I got a lot to do today, and it's already 2:30. Okay, so I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all for tuning in, and it'll be Sunday when I do another live. Okay, y'all take care. Peace.